Hi, book lovers. It's Jenny at Julia Baby Jen, and this is A Conjuring of Light favorite quotes. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about my favorite quotes from A Conjuring of Light by VE Schwab, which is the third and final book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. I did not go through and mark all the first two books as I was reading them with my favorite quotes, and I wish I had, because I'm sure there's wonderful quotes in there. I would love to. But I did go through A Conjuring of Light while I was reading it and mark my favorite quotes, and I'm going to share all of those quotes with you now. I should mention that if you haven't read this series yet, this might be kind of spoilery. I don't really remember on the quotes. I'm sure that they would be spoiler though if you haven't read this series yet, so just cautionary there. This is a favorite quote about Lila, actually. The guards were kneeling around her, and Lila Bard of all people was touching each of their foreheads as if bestowing a blessing. Head bowed, she almost looked like a saint. If a saint dressed all in black and carried knives. If a saint blessed using blood. Love that. This quote is about Queen Amira. Growing up, she was the kind of girl who broke things. Eggs and glass jars, porcelain cups and mirrors. You could break a stone, her father used to tease, and she didn't know if she was clumsy or cursed, only that in her hands things always fell apart. It had seemed a cruel joke when her element proved to be neither steel nor wind, but water, ice, easily made, easily ruined. And then this is a quote with King Maxim and Queen Amira. Relax, Maxim would say. Boys don't break so easily. Our son will be as strong as forged steel and thick ice. But Maxim was wrong. Steel rusted and ice was only strong until a crack sent it shattering to the ground. She lay awake at night waiting for the crash, knowing it would come. I really love those two quotes because it really explains a lot about Queen Amira. An awful lot, and I forgave her a lot while reading this book. This is also a quote between Amira and Rai. He was meant to be your shield, she murmured, your shelter. You were never meant to be his. Rai shook his head exasperated. Cal isn't the only one you fail to understand. My bond with him didn't start with this curse. You wanted him to kill for me, die for me, protect me at all costs. Well, Mother, you got your wish. You simply failed to realize that the kind of love, that bond, it goes both ways. Lila had always thought of secrets like gold coins. They could be hoarded or put to use, but once you spent them or lost them, it was a beast to get your hands on more. Because of that, she'd always guarded her secrets, prized them above any take. Scars are not shameful, said Ochka, unless you let them be. The knight straightened. If you do not wear them, they will wear you. This is a wonderful quote about Rai. I love his character development in this story so much. No, he cut in, I will not let them think the Marish have abandoned them. I will not hide within a wooded palace when I can walk without fear through those streets, when I can remind our people that they are not alone, that I am fighting with them, for them, when I may be struck down but rise again, and in so doing show them the immortality of hope. That is what I can do for my city, and I will gladly do it. You need not shield me from the darkness. It cannot hurt me any more. Nothing can. And this is a conversation between Vortalis and Holland, and I thought this was really interesting. This is what Vortalis is speaking right now to Holland. This is how change happens. Not with a whisper and a wish like in those tales of yours, but with a well-executed plan. And yes, a bit of blood, but that's the way of the world, isn't it? It's our turn now. I will be the city's king, and you can be its valiant knight, and together we will build something better. I really like that. This is something Lila says that I just love her quotes. I always assume I'm being followed, she said with false cheer. Why do you think I have so many knives? Oh, Lila. This is about the high priest. Tyrion Sorrents had never been able to see the future. He could only see himself. That was a thing so many didn't understand about scrying. A man could not gaze into the stream of life, the heart of magic, and read it as if it were a book. The world spoke its own language, as indecipherable as the chirping of a bird, the rustling of leaves. A tongue meant not even for priests. It is an arrogant man that thinks himself a god. I really love that because it really shows, I think, I'm trying to formulate this into words, but the relationship to man and God. I think that's a really great quote, that no one is above, that no human can completely understand the mysteries of the universe, and it's above our level of skill. We just are unable to do it. We just have to grasp at straws and make sense of what we know, which isn't a lot. And I really love that that comes from a high priest, that he really understands his role. And and yeah, I just really love that. I could talk about that forever. Tyrion curled a finger around his beard. Love and loss, he said, are like a ship and the sea. They rise together. The more we love, the more we have to lose. But the only way to avoid loss is to avoid love. And what a sad world that would be. Life at Sea was a painting done primarily in muted shades. The sun and salt leached color. The sweat and grime were whites to gray. I absolutely love that, and that is such a great quote because it paints such a picture, and anyone who loves sea and pirate stories will really relate to that quote. I just really love it. It's a simple sentence, but it really paints a picture in this particular scene, and I just really loved it. Myths do not happen all at once. They do not spring forth whole into the world. They form slowly, rolled between the hands of time until their edges smooth, until the saying of the story gives enough weight to the words, to the memories, to keep them rolling on their own. People spoke of love as if it were an arrow, a thing that flew quick and always found its mark. They spoke of it as if it were a pleasant thing, but Maxim had taken an arrow once, and he knew it for what it was, excruciating. This is a scene between Alucard and Lila. Alucard was sitting across from her, chin in one hand. I'm honestly not sure how you've lived this long. Lila shrugged, her voice muffled by the cloth. I'm hard to kill. The captain shoved to his feet. Stubborn's not the same thing as infallible, he said, pouring himself a drink. And I've told you 3 times you cannot move the fucking ocean, no matter how hard you try. Maybe you're not trying hard enough, she muttered. I just absolutely love that scene between them. That just says so much about their relationship. A myth without a voice is like a dandelion without a breath of wind. No way to spread the seeds. And those are my favorite quotes in A Conjuring of Light. I could have probably come up with a lot more, but as I was marking, I started marking like crazy. I'm like, I gotta start slowing down here. But this whole book is quotable. I just love VE Schwab's writing. I think that is what makes these books so wonderful. And yeah, these are just wonderful quotes. So leave me comments below if you want to chat about this book or any of those quotes, or if you want to share some of your favorite quotes ever. I'd love to see them. And I hope everyone has a good day. I will talk to you later. Bye.